Hi guys, it's Katie here again from Creativa, back to do another video, and we have been working on the Esencia album, and this time we're doing the 2-page landscape album just to get us started. So we have in the last video made the cover. So here's the cover. So I had attached this little ribbon last time, but I was just playing around as you do, and I just put this little bead dangle on the end of this little bit of ribbon here. I thought it was kind of cute. It almost looks a little bit like the dream catcher there, so I just popped that on the end, and that's as much as I'm going to do for the cover. I like it like that. It's nice. So I mean, maybe I could put a word or something on here, memories or whatever it is, but I just like it like that. So we have done the cover and we have inserted the pages, and it's blank and we are ready to go. So today we're going to do the first page. So let's get on with it. So the paper line that I've been using is this one here called Grand Bazaar by Quatrefoil. So that's the paper. I'm using this cardstock, which is the Recollections Black 65-pound 176 GSM cardstock. And I'm also using some of this foil paper here, and that I've just bought, if you're in Australia, I just bought this from Kmart, A4 metallic paper, 22 sheets, 9 colours, and so I've just been using that copper colour so far, and so that's I've been using, which we shall see today. So I'm using the Esencia SVG files. SVG files are scalable vector graphic files that you can use with electronic cutting machines, such as a Cricut, Brother Scan and Cut, or a Silhouette Cameo. That's just an example. And regular SVGs people tend to buy and cut out and, you know, iron onto t-shirts or put on mugs or water bottles, but my SVGs are a bit different. They are the kind of SVGs that you cut out of cardstock and then create books, photo albums, organisers, desk planners, those sorts of things. I've done little books and boxes and all. So anyway, this is an album, and so I'm going to start by showing you the files that I've used in this album. And in this 2-pager that we're making, I'm also using these add-on window pockets. So these add-on window pockets are exactly the same size as the pockets you'll find in the Esencia, so you don't need these. These are just a nice to have, makes things look pretty, but you could just as easily make exactly the same album using the same pockets, but they don't have this cutout. So I'm going to use these ones, this Quatrefoil design today, and all throughout this album. And so when I refer to a pocket that I'm using in here, it has exactly the same number and there's exactly the same pocket as what's in here. So if I have a look here, I've got long pockets and that's N1. If I fit through here, you'll see that this is exactly the same pocket. It's not the fancy cutout, it's just a basic pocket. So you can easily make the whole album just using this set of SVG files, but I love these, and so we're going to use these ones as well. So in my books, I show you which pieces I've used. The blue pieces are the elements themselves, and the pink pieces are the mats. And I've given them alphanumeric labels just to make it easy to refer to them. So let's start with what I've cut out. I've got my little pile of pieces here. Here we go. So the first piece I've cut out is a mat. It's the M3 mat, which is this big base page mat. Of course, we already have put our pages in, so this is the mat for that. So my Cricut's cut it out for me, and then I've just inked around the edges a little bit. So that is the M3 mat. I have one of those. Then I have cut out a P1 pocket, this pocket here. So I have cut that out and I label it so that I remember what piece it is, because they can all start to look a little bit the same after a while. So that's my P1 pocket, and I have cut out 2 of the P2 mats. So that's those 2 here. Again, just cut out and inked around the edge, and that's that pink piece here. So I've cut 2 of those out. And I'm going to try to remember to put this list of the pieces that I use in the description box to this video, so that you don't have to try and remember which pieces I have referred to. But it's going to be a new thing for me. I haven't done that before, so I might forget. But if I forget, just drop me a comment and I will do it. Okay, so now I've cut out a Q1 pocket here, so that's this one here, and 2 of the Q2 mats, so that's those 2 there. They're all ready to go. I've cut out, oh, now we're up to our fancy bits here in the Quatrefoil. So here I have cut out, I think this is an R1 piece. So here's my R1 pocket, and I have cut out the R3 mat, but this time I've cut it out of acetate instead of out of paper. So that's those ones here. So of course, just to refresh you, there is also an R in here, the R1, and there's an R1 here. So you could absolutely make this album using those pieces as well. I'll put that to the side. Okay, so this is R1 and the R3 mat out of acetate. Then we have a T pocket. So this is the T1 pocket and the T3 mat, and that's where I've used this foil this time because I think that looks sensational. I'm sorry if there's a reflection, but that black and that copper, I think just looks awesome. Okay. Then we have some X pieces. Well, let's do the W pieces first. I've got a W1 piece here. That's this long belly band, and I've already just folded it over, but there's the tabs on the back. And the pink mat is a W7, and I've cut that out of the foil. Then we have the W6 corner pocket and the W12 mat, and that's out of the acetate that I've cut that mat. And then we have some X pieces. I've cut out 4 of the X4 pieces, so those ones there, I've got 4 of those, and 2 of the X8 mats, and I've also cut those out of acetate, so they're there. Alright, so we can put all that aside, and then I can remember how I was going to put it all together. So let's start with our big pieces here, the P and the Q, I believe they were. Right. So I do believe we need to think about this a little bit differently. I always used to be able to, if I was putting a pocket on something, I could mat the page or mat the piece like so, and then I could put the pocket on top. But because the pocket was solid, you wouldn't see the little tabs. But this time around, we have to think about it a bit differently and put all the pockets that you can see through on first, and then put the mats down so that we cover those tabs. So we do need to remember to think about it like that. Okay, so these guys I'm planning on having as flips. They are going to be flips. So let's just bring out our page, and I just want to make sure that I'm cutting the right piece off. So this guy here I want to line up on here. So it needs to go this way, yes. So I'm going to keep this tab and I'm going to cut these 3 off, and I've put little crosses on there to remind me to do that. And then the Q is going to sit on top of that again. So I'm just going to line that up and make sure, yes. So I'm going to keep this tab, but I'm going to cut those 3 off. So let's do that. And then we can start building our page. I've got my cutting tool. So I'm just going to line up that score line that my Cricut has already conveniently put there for me. I'm just going to line up along there and just trim off my tab. So this is one of the reasons why these SVG files are quite versatile, because I've left the tabs on all the way around so that it gives you the opportunity to use the piece a multitude of different ways. So it could be a pocket, but if you cut some of the tabs off, it would be a flip. And yeah, so it just gives you lots of ideas or ways that you can use a piece. It's also very versatile, or SVG files are very versatile because you can resize them on your computer in your software. So if you're using Cricut, which is what I use, you can redesign it in your, you can resize it in the desktop. What's it called? The design space. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to put my, before I start getting gluey, I've got to remember to bring my mat out. I always forget that. So that's the wrong way around. So my mat is just a shelf liner that I bought from the hardware store. Okay, so let's move these little pieces out the way. Maybe put them to my right hand side. So my P piece, my plan is I'm going to fold this tab over and press that down and find my my bone folder. Just give that a little flatten like so, and it's going to sit on there like that, and it will be it'll flip out for us. So let's get out our glue. I'm using Helmer's Tiger Grip glue, available in Australia, but you use any glue you like, because we don't have the same variety of craft supplies here in Australia that there are in other places of the world. Okay, so I'm just going to press that down. I'm just making sure that it lines up nicely. I'm not sure whether I'm going to round my corners here or not. I can't quite remember what I was planning on doing with this page, so we'll just, you know, see how we go. We can do it later. I can't remember what I had hanging off there. Okay, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with this Q1 piece. Burnish that tab down. Oh, I didn't do a very good job of that. Look at that. How about that? That's a bit better. Okay, so that's going to go on there like so. So let's do that. Really did a pretty average job there. Never mind. Okay. Oh, I just love this black cardstock. I'm going to use black cardstock all the time. But it just doesn't suit every paper line really, does it? Okay, so I'm just sticking that on that page on top. So I'm not going up to the spine, I'm going on that first crease line on our base page. Okay, make sure that's still nicely stuck down. People walking up here. What are you doing? It's where I did not fold it very well. I'll fix that up later. Okay, so now for our first page we have 2 flip outs, and then we get to the base page, so that's pretty cool. Of course you could put them on the other side as well. I just I don't know, in my mind that's the way I've envisaged it. Okay, so now let's think about these, what we're going to put in these, on these flips. I had in mind that on my front page I was going to have this going along the side or the bottom. Let's see if I can remember. This one fits. Okay, this is a sideways one. So this is my R1 pocket, and that is definitely going to fit along there. Okay, so what we need to do, I've lost my pencil. Here we go. we need to cut off one of the long sides and keep keep one long side, cut off one long side, keep the two short sides. So we can fold in the ones we want to keep. I'm doing a terrible job of this folding here. So this is why we need to think about putting our pockets on and then matting the page, because the little tags themselves are able to be seen. So that's why we need to think about just sort of rethinking how we might have put things together from when we don't have window pockets, when the pockets are solid. I hope I'm making sense. I'm kind of making sense to myself, but perhaps if somebody else was talking to me about it, I might be scratching my head a little bit. Okay, so they're the three we're going to keep. And then I'm going to cut this guy off here because that's going to be our pocket. So let's get our cutting tool back out again. Let's go to the side. Get a cutting board, and I'm just going to line up that score line and trim that tab off. You don't see it over here, and that can go in the bin. And there's a pocket. So now we can attach our acetate piece to it. Let's make sure it fits. Yes. So I'm just going to go around with my glue. I'm definitely going to go down this side here. This is not easy for me. I'm going to try not to use too much glue. Never an easy job for me. So I'm going to go around the edges. And this one. Down here. If we get any glue on the acetate, we can clean that later. Now I'm just going to stick a few blobs here and there. I'm not going to go around every single little piece. I cannot be bothered with that. But we can just put some blobs in these places. I think that'll do. Oops. And this is my piece of acetate. And I'm just going to pop that guy on there. And I kind of want to bring him up to this edge because his extra strength will reinforce that edge for us as well. So I've got glue flying everywhere. Where's my little, here we go, messy looking wipe now. I'm just going to clean that up. Okay, I think I might just put this to the side for a minute just to dry so that I don't get covered in glue. Right, so we'll just leave him to the side, but that's what he looks like from the front. I could probably clean this up a bit. I think I'm making it worse, not better. Alright, so let's just leave him to dry for a second. I'll just clean up this so I don't get over the next one. Okay, so if that's going to be a side pocket, then this one is meant to be a bottom pocket. This is my T1 pocket. And so what we can do with this one is, because it is going to be solid, I'm going to actually attach it down. And I had a comment on one of my videos recently, and this clever lady, I think her name was Joan, shout out to you Joan if I've got your name right, she said don't cut the tabs off if you don't have to, because it's going to reinforce the top of your pocket. And I thought, that's brilliant. not only is it one less thing to cut off, but it's also reinforcing it. So we can do that with this one too, because this one is a solid piece of paper that we're just going to glue down on here. Then I can fold that one over and it will make the top of our pocket even more secure. So let's start by sticking down our piece of paper, and I think the Tiger Grip glue might be a bit overkill, but it does have a finer nozzle is the word I'm looking for. So let's just run some glue along here. Again, I'm just going to put some dots around here. Not too much. I think I put too much on last time. Okay. And then I'm going to remember to turn this over and lay this down here. Just like so. Squash that down. And then we can put another bead of glue along here and fold that down, and just give it a burnish. And there's our next pocket. Let's make sure that this is stuck down well along here. Get the glue off. And then this, we're just going to fold these score lines in for our tabs, just so that we can attach our pocket. I'll try and do a better job than I did last time. Oh, I'm sure that was a better job. And the same across here. And fold that down. Okay, so there we've done one acetate pocket and we've done one foil pocket. So you could put foil on here, or you could put vellum, scrapbook, and a different type of scrapbook paper, acetate, I said that, I think. Anything, and some kind of specialty paper. I mean, and you could put coloured acetate, all sorts of things. Okay, so there's our pocket ready to go. Right, so that's, and I've got glue on that as well. I get glue everywhere. I really do. Oh, I can sort that out later. Okay. Now these two guys we're going to use as little flip outs. This is the X4 envelope flips. So for two of these we're going to join them together, but we only want one tab on each one, otherwise it just is too bulky. So on these X4s we're going to have two that we aren't going to cut off, and I'm just going to keep those two because it's got X4 written on the top. And these two, we're going to cut the tabs off of those. Alright, so, and then we're just going to sandwich the acetate in. So let's just do one, and then I'll do the other one off camera, so that you don't have to sit around and watch me do that. Okay, so I'm just cutting off this tab off two of the 4 X4s. Actually, I'm going to go just a little touch inside that score line, closer to the pointy bit, so that it doesn't in any way interfere with the folding that we want that piece to do. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same with this. No, I had to do it on one of these. Let's not get confused and end up cutting the tabs off everything. Easily done. Okay, and that's that one. So I'm going to put that one aside, and we can do that one. So all we need to do is fold this tab over, and this is what we're going to attach to the page. And fold that down. And then we're going to attach our piece of acetate to that one. So let's do that in much the same way that we did this one. Run the bead of glue along here. So we've done this. This is how, if you've done any of my other albums and you've done doors, you'll know that we have sandwiched acetate or vellum in between two pieces before, so that it looks finished on both sides, and it also gives it a little bit of extra strength if you need it. So that's just what we're doing here, because the vellum wouldn't look so finished if we just put this down. So we're just going to pop that piece of vellum acetate on like so. Right. Make a gluey mess, and then we can run another bead of glue along the same spot, maybe not so much because we still have a little bit oozing out. And in a couple of spots on here. And then we can put this guy on top and line him up. I'll try to anyway. Have to move fairly quickly with this tighter grip. Okay. Okay, so that's that guy done. So he looks finished on both sides. So I'm going to go and do exactly the same thing with this one, and I'll do that off camera so that we have two of those. The other thing I'll do off camera is attach my acetate piece to my corner pocket. So all I'm going to do is glue that on like so. And I'm going to do the same thing with this belly band here, which I can't get my paper clip off. Let me just bear with me while I try to get that off. There we go, and here. Come off. It doesn't help that my hands are really gluey. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this belly band. I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm just going to attach my piece of foil paper to the back side like so, just like that. Okay, so I'll go and do that off camera, so save you having to watch me, and then I'll come back and we will assemble our page completely. Alright, so I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I am back and I have finished gluing all of my bits of my acetate or transparency together. So I have sandwiched both of those together now, and this guy has dried here. We did this one together. I've put the foil on this little belly band and just glued that on the back there, and then just glued the acetate on the back of that pocket. So we can start constructing our pages now. So let's just pop that to the side, bring our album back. Oh, I should also say that I found my Artline glue bottle, but it's got the really super fine tip, and it does clog rather easily. I mean, you have to get this little pin in it all the time, but it definitely was easier to apply to these tiny little spaces rather than this guy. Even though this is quite a thin nozzle, I still struggled with too much glue. Okay, so I am going to I think I had in mind that I was going to use this piece of paper on here. That was going to be my bottom mat, and this was going to be my side pocket here. Oh, that looks lovely. Okay, I'm just trying to decide here whether I want to round my corners. because around my edges, because it does look nice. And on this one I was going to have a bottom pocket here, so we would need to round that, but that's okay, we can do that. Let's do it. So where's my round edge punch? So I'm going to round this corner here and this one here. I'll try. I'd normally do this before I've attached it, but let's live on the edge. And so I need to do the same on that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of ink on there. Okay, but we need to put our pocket on first because we don't want our little tags to show. So let's do that. I'm going to use my Tiger Grip glue. And on this long tab, I'm just going to put some glue on here. And line it up along this edge here. Glue. Make sure that's stuck down and lined up. And then we can do these side tabs as well. These are the short ones. So then we just have to wrestle our mat in underneath here, which, you know, could be a little more tricky, but not impossible. We've done it before. Okay, so that's stuck down. And I still have some little gluey marks on here, but I'll work on getting those off later. I'm sure you can do a better job when you're doing it at home yourself. I might just a little bit of a wet wipe, you know, a baby wipe might be the way to go with that. So now I'm going to use this glue to stick my mat down, and we can wrestle it into that pocket. Okay, so, all right, let the wrestle begin. Slide it in there, all the way to the back, and you go over the ridge and wrestle it into place. Oh, not so bad. Got a bit of glue on me, but there we go. It's our first pocket. Oh, I love it. Oh. So I've got glue on my fingers, and all I'm doing is putting glue on that piece. Off you hop. Okay, so there's our first pocket. Love it. I could do that for hours. Look, I just can't stop it. Alright, so let's flip over to the back side. And on here, we don't have to be so concerned because we have a solid pocket. So let's find the mat for this guy. I'll leave it with this one. Did it go this way? Yes. But we need to round that corner. We'll just do both. We don't need to because you won't see this one. And we can stick this straight down, and then we need to just round this corner here on our pocket so that it doesn't stick out wonky. So now we can pop that one down. So let's get our glue out. And pop this one down. This is pretty good. And then we can, I might just burnish that a little bit more there. Feels like it's not quite flat enough for my liking. Little tag is poking out the bottom. Tab. I always say tag when I mean tab. Okay. And let's go for it. Yeah, I quite like this because with these fancy pockets, I feel like we really don't need to embellish at all because they're already embellished for us, which is super cool. Okay, just give that a good burnish down. Quite carefully. I got a little bit of glue that came out there, and that little flip. Doesn't that look cool? This has come wonky somehow. I'll have to fix that later. I must have you see it's got a bit wonky. I think it all came a cropper when I accidentally scored it wrong, so it's not sitting on the edge. Oh, I might see if I can just fix that up. I feel like I need to pull the whole thing off. Alright, I'll fix that later. Okay, so on this page, what did we have in mind? I think I had in mind that I was going to use this as my mat, and then I was going to use these as little flips from the top and the bottom. So we need to put these guys down first so we don't see those tabs. So let's do that. I'm going to find the center on here and the center on these so that they line up. I'm going to find my ruler, which, here it is. Things are always running away from me. Okay, so, well, that's nice and easy. That's my center point on this piece, 10 centimeters. And here. And then these guys are 13 centimeters long, so that's 6.5 there. And 6.5 there. Then if I put some glue on my tab and just line up those two little marks, that one and that one. Make sure that that's nice and level. Lovely. And then the same on this one. I'll line this up down here. Lovely. Okay. Then I would normally stick this mat down now, but I'm actually going to just place it in there for now. The reason being, I want to fix this up, pull it off and reattach it, but I won't do that on camera. But so I don't want this mat on there because that's where that tab is. But let's just imagine that I've stuck my mat down, okay? And now I was thinking I wanted to use a bit of ribbon to hold these two together. So I'm just going to put a hole in the middle of each of these pieces of acetate and then thread a bit of ribbon through. So where's my hole punch? I'm going to use this one here, which is my leather punch. And I'm just going to go for it and stick a hole in here. It's acetate, so it's fairly strong. It shouldn't need any reinforcing. I'm not sure I can even put a hole in it. Maybe I will use my crocodile. Okay, I'm going to use my crocodile to I don't use it very often. I'm not very crocodile skilled. But let's see how we go. I'm just trying to find where I've already started that hole. Oh dear. I might have to mark it. My pen gonna work? See if I can just mark that hole. Okay. Now I can just sort of make it out when I'm trying to line it up. I really can't. Oh, this is so difficult. Okay, I did it. Oh my goodness. How difficult was that to watch? I'm guessing about there. I wish I'd done those together. Never mind. Okay, so then I was thinking I'll have a little bit of ribbon. And can't tell if there's one good side of this ribbon or bad or not. So I can thread it through one side and give myself a bit of length. Trying to find my scissors. There they are. Okay, let's do that. And then I'm going to thread this one through this side. And tie a bow. So, there we go. So, that's our second page, and as I say, I'll come back and sort that mat out. Okay, so then we can flip that over, and on this side, I have this piece already cut for my mat, and then I was just going to put a corner pocket on. So we can just attach that corner pocket and then slide our mat in. And methinks I am going to round the corner on this one too, so I can just slide this mat out and round this corner here and this corner here, and I may as well do these ones while I'm at it. I wonder which way this is supposed to go up. I think it goes that way. Right, so that guy's all ready. Slide that in like so. Try to. Alright. I'm just going to undo this while we work on that back page so it's not quite so bulky. See this, I've got too much going on this side here. Okay. So we need to attach this corner pocket to here. So this whole page is not sitting flat because I have messed up that first bit. So I'll go back and fix that and it'll be fine. I just won't waste your time. Okay, so we can just stick this corner pocket on. We're nearly done. In this, it feels a bit like a comedy of errors. Okay. Stick this guy down. Along that score, just on this side of that score line, along the bottom. I'm going to get a clean wipe for my next video, I think. This one's looking pretty manky. Okay, I just got more glue on there. And down the bottom here. Okay, and then it goes on like so. So we need to do these corners as well. And go into place. Just going to stick my bone folder in, give myself a bit of room. Easy. Easy peasy. Gorgeous. Very nice and simple. Okay. With that mat on there. Oh, every time. It's such a mess. Okay. Okay. Last bit of this page, pretty simple. We're just going to put down this belly band in the middle, and we can just stick it on top because you won't see the little tabs once we stick it down because they're smaller than the piece itself. So let's just go ahead and stick the mat down. This is the M3 mat, so that's the base page mat. Okay. Okay. Line that up, stick it down. Simples. Going to have to find that halfway point again for our belly band. So the page is 18 centimeters, so we need a little marking, little spot at 9 centimeters there, and 9 centimeters here. And then what's the width of my belly band? It's 3 centimeters, so half of that is 1.5. And here, marking that at 1.5. You can just put some glue on these little tabs. And that is done. I'm going to line that up there, line that up there, smooth it into place. This little pocket's wobbled around a little bit. Okay, and so what's happened here is this little pocket slid over there. Come on over a bit. There we go. Okay, and there's our belly band. And then we can just rub off those little markers, and that is our first page done. So we have this big page with this enormous belly band, so we can fit lots of bits in here. We've got this corner pocket here, slide over, and we've got that page here that does up, and I just need to fix up that page a little bit, and then I can stick that mat down. And then we have a little pocket here and a pocket on the side. So isn't that cute? Love it. So that's, and I really like when you open up and you can see all these different layers. I think that's really cool. So that's our first page done in our 2-page landscape Esencia album. So we can just close that up, and next time we come back we can do another page in this album. So thanks very much for joining me today, guys. If you're interested in the SVG files, I'm using the Quatrefoil and the Esencia, and they're both available in my Etsy store, so you can head over those there and have a look. I'll put the link in the description box below. Love it if you gave me a thumbs up. Comment below if there's anything that you'd like to say. I always try to reply. Subscribe if you haven't already, and also check out the Facebook group if you're interested. It's called Creativa Divas, and we've got some members over there who are making their own albums using these SVG files, so there's quite a bit of activity going on there as well. So thanks very much for your time today. Bye for now. Bye.